Hi, everyone. It's Darlene Corbett, the Unstuck expert. This week, we're going to continue on the Unstuck theme. I'll never know I'll continue on the Unstuck theme, but we're going to talk about getting unstuck. Last week, it was becoming unstuck. Just maybe some, using a different synonym. Why not, right? I want to talk about the imagination today. The use of the imagination to help us get unstuck. Now, the great Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich is his book. It's an ageless book. I'll keep saying it over and over. He refers to the imagination as the workshop. Now, I can't remember what else he said, but I could not agree more. We have this great mind and great imaginations. It's very lush and rich when we're children. Think about, you see your own children, or you recall yourself having these imaginary friends, playing dolls, playing with toys and animals and making up stories. We lose some of that as we get a little bit older, but we don't have to if it's continued to be honed and developed. Sometimes it goes dormant. We never totally go dormant because we often imagine things when we're driving, don't we? Dissociate, daydream. That's all using your imagination. But really, to use it to the very best you can, we sometimes don't. Sometimes we have these ideas, fleeting opportunities that go right past us. We think, oh, and then it's gone. I say write it down. You get an idea, keep it right by you. Because you know what? If you write that idea down, and you might think about another idea, and then eventually another, or you might go back to it. You might not, but you might. Why not? What do you get to lose by just writing it down real quickly? You have a little scrap of paper and put it somewhere, and then go back to it. Say, wow, I want to think about that again. So if your imagination is relatively dormant, I say use it to get unstuck. And please don't tell me you can't. We have an imagination that can be as lush as a beautiful garden, a beautiful, beautiful mind where there's gorgeous, gorgeous gemstones looking to be discovered. Whatever metaphor you prefer, think about it as an exploration into uncharted territory. How about that? What might you discover? What might be submerged that needs to come out? Think about it, please. Now, what's that got to do with getting unstuck? Well, because sometimes we try to figure out a problem and we can't get unstuck. We just keep stuck. We've tried. Maybe if you try one more time and tap more, go deeper into that imagination, you will be able to find something. Now, if you say you're not creative, I'm going to challenge that. We all have some ability to be creative, every single one of us. I'm not saying we're going to be a Monet or a Renoir or Beethoven or anyone else you want to talk about, Shakespeare, but we all are capable of being creative in whatever unique form that is for us and how much we can develop it. I want you to think about this. You have a handwriting signature. Sadly, cursive is not being taught to the young children anymore, or to any children, period. That is really disturbing to me. That signature is your creative piece, not like any other. Even if it's a scribble or it's not pretty like calligraphy, some people have beautiful handwriting, others don't. I have swirly. It's sometimes hard to decipher, but the point is, it's ours. And it's creative. It's our imagination working with our dexterity. That is ours. So if you think about the fact you're not creative at all, you are, because your unique handwriting is not like any other. And yes, it could be forged, but even those forgers can't quite capture the exact essence. A person that can decipher forgery will find that out. And even that forger is not doing it from the heart and the mind and your dexterity with it. Your imagination. Think back when you were a child. I'll share with you a couple things. I was a little girl. I was very, very good at drawing. I drew and drew and drew. I did some things I didn't find out until later that artists did themselves. It came to me instinctually. My dad was also someone that used to illustrate, and he used to get the nuns hit him on the hands when they found it, but I got it from him, I believe. I didn't develop it for a lot of reasons, and I eventually even went to the Worcester Art Museum just for a class, and it was watercoloring. My watercoloring was so-so, but the artistic, should I say the teacher, the art teacher, said, "You know how to draw, don't you?" I said, "Yes." Eventually, instead of drawing people, I went on to listen to people. And now I write for people. As a child, though, I remembered I didn't just draw and paint, but I also wrote stories. I had to write a story one day, and I came home from school. I'll never forget. My mom was working during the day, my dad worked nights, and I was with my dad, and I started eating my lunch and wrote this this story, this assignment called Jonathan and the Roman Shoes. I'll never forget this. And I wrote it in that 45 minutes I was home for lunch, brought it to school, gave it to the teacher, and I received an A minus. I loved using my imagination. It was ridiculous, actually. I had this guy named Jonathan put on these Roman shoes with wings. He went back to the Roman times. And I drew a picture of Jonathan with the emperor. I can see it now. I was 9 years old. Well, obviously, I had that within me. I didn't write for many years. I mean, I wrote for papers and so on, but that was it. It was all, academic. And then all of a sudden, I discovered that gift again. I don't say gift. I think we're all gifted. I have a real belief, strong belief we're all gifted, but I developed, I should say, that skill. And now I write as a conversation piece. It's like I'm talking to you. I write like I talk. And I love writing. I have fallen in love with it. I love using my imagination. Now, I'm not suggesting people have to go out and write or speak or paint or create masterpieces, but use your imagination. And if you're stuck in a rut, by using your imagination to tap into those gifts, those untapped gifts, and they're there if you haven't been using them, it may not get you stuck from some of the travails you're dealing with in life, but it will help you feel like you're unstuck in some other form. And who knows what it might open up for you, the possibilities. And then it might get you unstuck from whatever's plaguing you. And if you can't, for whatever reason, if it's something that's very, very compromising or disabling, it at least will lift you up. It can help lift your depression or anxiety. Your great imagination can do that. It can let the light shine through. Remember, one flicker of light in a whole room of darkness makes a difference. So I invite you to consider using your imagination, whatever form that is, to get unstuck. Will it get you unstuck leaps and bounds? Probably not, but it will start. It's a place to start. And then you keep adding and adding, and eventually, you know what I'm going to say, don't you? Watch what happens. All right, everyone. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. I am your teacher, I humbly say, and just as humbly, I remain a teacher as I will until it's time for the end in my book of life.